Good morning, I'm Sunetra Choudhury, political editor of the Hindustan Times, bringing you all that you need to know about COVID-19 on Monday, August 17th. First up, I'll look at the numbers. In just the last 24 hours, we've seen 57,670 new cases from across the country. Almost 1,000 people have died in the last 24 hours, 947 to be precise. Which brings us to our top story, which is one of hope, the talk about vaccines. India has a key vaccine meeting today that's going to be led by Niti Aayog's VK Paul. Also attending our Serum Institute's Adar Poonawala. And one of the key things that's going to be decided is when the vaccine is ready and out, how much should this cost? It has to be affordable to the masses across the country. Those people in the meeting have also told Hindustan Times that they are looking to acquire the front runners, which are at phase 3, that's UK's AstraZeneca and also US's Moderna, the two vaccine candidates that are ahead of the race. Adar Poonawala Serum Institute has of course tied up with the UK's AstraZeneca. So that's one key meeting to look out for. The next story that we have is a validation that those who have recovered from the coronavirus do have immunity. And this latest validation comes from a study from the University of Washington that looked at a fishing vessel that had been infected. It found that 104 of the 102 crew members were infected, but the 3 who weren't had the disease before. So the latest study shows that the vaccine, when it is ready, will be useful in ending the pandemic. The next story that we have is just how Parliament is preparing when it opens next month. Most likely it is expected to convene on the second week of September, and when it comes in, we are going to see both houses being used by the members of Parliament. They may be operating in alternate days, but some of the special provisions are going to be a UV, ultraviolet disinfection system that is going to be placed in the air conditioning. They're also going to have special cables which will link and facilitate display screens of what the proceedings are to both houses, because they have to members for social distancing reason may be seated not just in the galleries, but if there are Lok Sabhas going on, proceedings on, then it may be members may be sitting in Rajya Sabha and listening to them as well. Those are some of the issues. They are going to have designated seating for the ministers and the Prime Minister, but even MPs of the ruling party and other MPs may be seated in the visitors' galleries. So those decisions and how to protocols being formalized right now for Parliament to convene next month. Now, one of the key things that the government is worried about and looking at is how to decrease the infection rates among healthcare workers. They found that in the 10 worst affected states, the infection rate among healthcare workers is 7 to 12%, which is as opposed to 5 to 6% of the national average. And what they say is because of inappropriate use of personal protection equipment and also in disposing them, which may be behind these high infection rates among healthcare workers. And one of the key things that the health ministry is saying is that they're going to focus on tackling this so that they get to the bottom of this problem. And finally, one of the big fallouts of the pandemic has been the reliance on online education. Well, a special report in Hindustan Times shows the problems and the challenges of that. One of the things is just access to the internet. Now, according to the last NSO survey, which is 2017 to 18, 3/4 of students didn't have access to internet. Now, while that number and the number of people having access may have grown since then, what is a problem is the fact that 76% of students don't know how to use a computer or don't know how to access the internet. So the digital divide is significant. Not just that, even downloading data or the cost of online education is significant. It can increase the budget and the data cost can be up to 200 rupees per month, which is a significant proportion of the household budget for those who are economically weak. So some of the things for policymakers to think about as they design how to go ahead and as they plan for future education systems. That's all the news updates for now. Keep tracking them on hindustantimes.com.